Welcome to session 1 of Career Ready Monroe. We're very thrilled that we have so many students on and presenters. So my name is Dr. Joanne Hudak, and I work for a company called the National Center for College and Career Transitions. And I'm actually going to put our website in chat because it is tremendous resources related to career readiness and career pathways, etc. So students, you may want to choose to visit my company. So I've been working with them since I retired as assistant superintendent at Wallenpaupack area, but I began at Pocono Mountain. So very much love Monroe County. So I want to not talk too much and get right to the heart of the day. So the first thing I need you to do is I need to keep track of who is here or not. So I am going to put a link in chat to a form. If you can't fill it out, let me grab it here. Hold on. Okay. If you are at your computer, this is a simple Google form. It's just asking your first and last name and what school district you're with. If you are on your phone, you know, maybe perhaps you can type your name or your school, your sign in via your name, but your school district. But if not, I'm going to do the good old take a picture of everybody so I know who's here. So that's my backup, not very techy. So here's the process. What we're doing today, it's week 1, it's engineering and industrial technology. And we are very thrilled that we have 3 of kind of the largest employers and really great companies and organizations, I guess, in the Monroe County region. And so with us today, we have Mike Dredla, production supervisor with Weiler Abrasives, just a company that is a wonderful place to work. And he'll tell you more about that. Toby Hanna, Army Depot. We have Katie Nolan, who is a community relations specialist. And the executive vice president of United Envelope Corporation, Steve Bunker. So you're going to hear from each one of these folks. And you also have, we're going to build in some time for question and answer. So for students, if you have a question, even in the, you know, we're going to try to save it to the end. We'll have a 15-minute presentation from each of these folks. And then you can have time for questions. If you're shy and you don't like to, you know, talk on the Zoom, you can post your question in chat and I will monitor the chat room. So with that, I think we're starting out with Mike from Weiler. Mike, you're on.
Okay, let me get my slides going here quickly. Sorry, I'm a little unfamiliar with Zoom. We're a Microsoft Teams company.
Oh, and I love my Zoom, right?
All right, are you seeing that okay?
Perfect.
Okay, so a little bit about me. I know you introduced me. My name's Mike Dredla. I'm a production supervisor here at Weiler Abrasives. So what that kind of means is I'm responsible for assigning responsibilities, setting work assignments, kind of overseeing the day-to-day operations on the production floor, coaching and developing our workforce. And I'm also pretty heavily involved with continuous improvement programs and projects. I started here going on 7.5 years ago, actually, as a production technician on the floor. So I ran production equipment. I did that briefly. I started working as a team lead and setter, so kind of responsible for a department on a shift. And I worked as a maintenance mechanic for a couple of years as well. So I've kind of done a good bit here, worked my way up. Been in this role going on 2 years now, so a bit of experience there. So I know I just played a brief slide for you there that just showed a bunch of different things. Those are all different products that are, or all different things that our products are used in the manufacturing of. So you could see, you know, SpaceX rockets, destroyers that the Navy's using, batteries in your car, is even in the medical field, you know, our products are used to kind of prepare tissues, donation samples and things like that. So we really serve a lot of customers across the globe. So a little agenda here. Thankfully, we knocked out one of those already. So I kind of go through some of our products. We'll talk a bit about our history and our location, have a video to show you there, and then just kind of how how manufacturing looks here. And then I'll kind of get into a breakdown of some careers that are kind of more, they're kind of more engineering and technology based. So these are some of our products that you see here. The majority of our products are used in welding and fabrication, but we really offer a very diverse range of products here. You can see there's coated abrasives like you see in the middle. On your right, you see mini brushes. Those are used in very, very fine applications. So those are used in like dentistry and jewelry. It's actually where the company got its start from. And on the left, you see power brushes. So a bit about our history here. I have a video.
Hi, I'm Chris Weiler, and I'm the CEO here at Weiler Abrasives Group. The heritage of Weiler dates back to 1898 when my great-grandfather was a partner in a brush-making company in Germany. And I think he would be amazed to see the growth that the company has gone through in that time.
Hi, I'm Bill Dwyer. I'm the Managing Director of the Americas at Weiler Abrasives. Today, Weiler Abrasives Group has 5 facilities in North America, South America, and Europe. So we're well positioned to deal with multinationals and provide solutions in local markets around the world. And we think we do that differently because we're a mid-sized company that has the capability of the market leaders, very broad abrasive capability, but we're able to apply that at a local level in a flexible and fast way.
All right, so a little bit about us. As Chris, the current CEO, mentioned there, our story started back in Germany in 1898 when his great-grandfather made brushes in Forsheim, Germany. Those brushes were mostly used for polishing in the jewelry industry. Forsheim to this day is still kind of a hub of jewelry manufacturing. So his son, our current CEO's grandfather, emigrated from Germany in 1927 and formed the Weiler Brush Company in 1944. They began manufacturing brushes initially in Long Island, New York, in a building that they actually converted from their chicken coop. So some pretty humble beginnings there. 1957, actually, I believe they broke ground in 1955, but didn't move until 1957. They came to where we're currently located in Cresco, Pennsylvania. I'm sure pretty much all of you would be familiar with that in Monroe County. So in 1999, Weiler opened its first subsidiary outside of the US. That was Weiler de Mexico. That was the first thing that took us international. And then shortly after I joined the company in 2015, we acquired Swati Comet, which is a company located in Slovenia. They're an abrasives company, but they made more of the like the bonded abrasives, so like grinding and cutting wheels, and coated abrasives like flap discs. That really allowed us to expand, globally, and really expand our presence in the EMEA region. So for anybody unfamiliar with that acronym, that's the Europe, Middle East, and Africa region. So I want to talk a little bit about some careers here. So these are kind of, if you look at your, if you look at that engineering and industrial technology pathway sheet that's out, if you look at the sample careers, these careers are careers that are going to take you from the entry kind of category over to the technical and skilled category. So I talked a little bit about what I've done here. I started as a manufacturing technician before working as a team lead, and I kind of dual rolled that with that setup technician there as well, before working as a maintenance mechanic and eventually becoming a production supervisor. So some kind of skills that you're really going to want to see there. We're set up in a cellular kind of model. So when it comes to manufacturing technicians, you want to see a lot of really good time management skills, kind of some self-direction, because they have a lot more responsibility than a lot of people might think of as a line worker would have. So from there, you kind of need a technical functional acumen, good mechanical skills, working in those setup roles, those quality roles, very fine measurements that need to be done there, troubleshooting as well. Towards the bottom there, you start seeing some of the like the mechanic. There's kind of like apprenticeship programs and whatnot that kind of teach people these skills. Tool and die maintenance, again, those are machine shop courses that you would need to take. And the electromechanical techs, actually, that's, I believe, an associate's degree. So when you start getting into these kind of roles, that technical functional acumen's really, really important to have. You know, you really need great troubleshooting skills, great mechanical aptitude. You really start seeing some innovative problem solving skills too when you get into these more technical kinds of trades that you see there. So as I mentioned, we're set up cellularly, not linearly. So it's a little different. This kind of model of manufacturing initially came to the US in the 1980s and was called U-line manufacturing. So what it is you have machines set up into kind of work cells that are arranged around a single operator, or typically a single operator. So in cellular manufacturing, products move through work centers that are arranged into these work cells consisting of multiple machines and tools. The work centers are arranged to support a smooth flow of raw material and minimize transportation of products. And the workers are responsible for managing multiple pieces of equipment within the work center. So there's a lot of challenges that go to setting something like this up. You know, and it's very engineering heavy, of course. Anytime you bring a new work center, a new piece of equipment online, you have to worry about the division of that equipment, because are you setting up the work center in an effective way? Where are your bottlenecks at? Of course, automation's what's really allowed kind of cellular manufacturing to take off. You don't have people doing repetitive things. You kind of back the operator out of really running the equipment, and they kind of come into more of a role of tending the equipment, troubleshooting the equipment, making sure that it's working. You also have to worry about the flow of those raw materials and the flow of the products through those work cells. So there's just an amazing amount of engineering that goes into this. And this is just the design of the work centers, the industrial engineering that goes around bringing the machines online. So, you know, mechanical engineering, automation engineers, a lot of those roles are needed in this, not to mention the actual products having their product engineers, their quality engineers, and the actual development of those things. So I did want to bring up, we are going to be offering some internships. I believe these are coming up later this year. We do have some of these positions open. You can see information about that if you follow either the links here or scan that QR code. I want to say that about wraps up our presentation. We'll handle Q&A later. Anything else there? Did I lose everybody?
No, I'm here. I was muted.
You zoomed the whole time.
No, that was great. So yeah, so hold your questions, students, but this particular group of students are very interested in internships.
Okay.
And so, you know, they've been, you know, while a lot of kids are just home doing nothing, you know, here these guys are on listening to hear about careers. And
oh, absolutely. Great.
It's really terrific. So we have a very dedicated group of students. So thanks so much. That was, boy, has Weiler grown since I remember back when I started at Pocono Mountain in the 80s taking tours there. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just in the 7 years I've been here, it's been crazy.
Wow. So with that, we're going to turn it over to our next speaker from Tobyhanna Army Depot, and that's Katie Nolan. So you're up, Katie.
Thank you very much. This is my first time doing this. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, great, thank you. I want to start out with a video our production team in the Public Affairs Office recently put out for recruitment purposes. It kind of says what we want to be seeing. So if I just,
you know what, Katie, we're getting a little bit of, you're breaking up a little bit. So that might be your signal, whatever, but you're breaking up just a little. But so let me kind of paraphrase here. So you have a recruitment video from Tobyhanna that you would like to show us?
I do. I apologize. It looks like my hotspot is being incredibly picky about how much service it's going to provide me, but
better now.
I'm ready to share my screen.
Okay.
I'll play the video for you and we can go from there.
All right.
Oh, maybe I am sharing my screen, right?
Not yet.
Let's do this.
place to work.
Okay.
Looking for a career where you can make a difference? Join the award-winning team at Toby Hanna Army Depot, and you can support America's warfighters.
It's safe, the people are great to work for, and there's so many different aspects of work here that you could always change and better yourself.
Toby Hanna, part of the Department of Defense, offers competitive salaries, great benefits, and a healthy work-life balance.
When you work at Toby Hanna Army Depot, you know that what you do matters and that warfighters around the world depend on your work to stay alive.
At Toby Hanna, they provided me with the support that I need to be successful here at my job. And also through these years, I have noticed improvement in the ways of diversity and inclusivity.
There are over 100 different jobs at Toby Hanna Army Depot, so your career can constantly grow. Your dream job exists at Toby Hanna, and our generous tuition reimbursement program can help you achieve your goal.
Looks like we froze here.
Production management, there's a variety of things you can do here. It's all about what you want to do, and it's a great
Well,
place to come to
it
work.
looks like we were good till the end, and it was a little spotty, but I think that, we got the gist of it. Katie, if you want to
It's
take
been a
it.
while since-
I love it.
Oh no. So, okay, let me close that. It's been a while since I've seen that video. It made me feel really good about where I work all over again. So I'm glad I got to share that with you. If you did miss parts of it, we do have multiple social media channels, including YouTube. So you can find us pretty much at Team Toby Hanna on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And that's one of my favorite parts of my job, working in public affairs. We get to create those products. So while we fall under industrial and engineering as a whole, the number of positions available to you, if you're interested in working for the Department of the Army, it's endless. I mean, we have almost 4,000 employees, so you don't just have to turn a wrench, but we do have those jobs. So we have welders, painters, sandblasters, mechanics, but then we also have, analysts, we have accountants, we have myself, I'm a community relations specialist, so I get to work with our community to go out and share the message about what Toby Hanna Army Depot does. I'm new to it, so even though I have been here 16 years, so when we're looking at Toby Hanna Army Depot, you are looking at a place where you can have a career. You can stay in the area long-term and build. I started at a very entry-level position and have just continuously moved up because those opportunities present themselves over and over, especially for, if you're a go-getter, if you're interested in taking advantage of some of those career opportunities, but also the programs we have for continuing your education. So Toby Hanna Army Depot will pay up to $10,000 per employee per year for continuing your education. The number of people that don't take advantage of that just blows my mind because it's free. It's free education, and you're getting it from your employer, and in the end, you're going to be able to use that hopefully to advance yourself. So another wonderful thing just in general is working for the federal government. You get your foot in the door with the federal government, spend a couple of years, you can work anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. You could also work anywhere in the world working for Toby Hanna Army Depot. So many of our jobs involve world travel. You can go places like Iceland, Greenland. Somebody told me they spent the better part of their recent trip in a hut on the Marshall Islands because that's just how remote it was, but that's some of the kind of work that we end up supporting. So that's a big mystery, I think, in the area. We're constantly told, I know Toby Hanna Army Depot is there. I don't know what they do. And that's tough because our mission is constantly evolving. It's got a lot of the old. We're overhauling and repairing equipment that has been used by our armed services for decades. And speaking of engineering, a lot of that equipment, the parts, they don't make them anymore. So we need engineers to come in and come up with solutions to those puzzles, and maybe do some design work, or maybe to improve old designs. It allows a kind of creativity you may not find in other engineering positions. I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but specifically now our software engineering program is taking off. Of course, cybersecurity is huge. I'm sure everyone can guess, how that's happening. So, but even, let me see here, the benefits, we have very generous vacation packages, insurance. Our organization is very environmentally conscious. So we do have even, you might say, oh, the Poconos, am I going to travel to the Poconos every day? We have a mass transit program that the government actually funds so we can have fewer cars on the highway at a time. So just the type of constant evolution and integration happening here at Tobyhanna Army Depot. More than anything, as our mission continues to evolve, we need those young minds with those new ideas and those new skill sets that, I'm here, trying to figure out this Zoom thing. I don't feel that old, but it does make me feel old. This is second nature to all of you. This is the wave of the future. You are, and we need you. And not to mention, on average, Tobyhanna Army Depot salaries are about $10,000 above Northeastern Pennsylvania, the median salary. We also have a strong veterans hiring program. 1/3 almost of our employees have previous service with the armed forces. So you can go from being a warfighter to taking care of the warfighter and keeping them safe. Our economic impact to the area is about $2.9 billion. We are the largest industrial employer in Northeastern Pennsylvania. And we require up to or over 130 different kinds of job skills. So whether you want to go on and get multiple master's degrees, or you want to go get a technical specialty in maybe being an electrician, a mechanic, sandblasting, wastewater treatment. We need all those kind of jobs. We're like our own little city here. So if you haven't heard of us, or if you haven't considered us, I imagine each and every one of you probably has a family member, a friend, or a neighbor that works here. Ask them what it's like to work at Tobyhanna Army Depot, and just consider it. It's really kind of a hidden gem as far as a great opportunity for young people to get in, get a fantastic start in their careers with wonderful benefits, and just never stop learning at no cost to themselves. That's, it's a wonderful place. And I think you probably all also have friends, family, neighbors, mothers, brothers, sisters in the armed services. So regardless of how you feel about, the Army and the government and what's happening in the world, I think we can all agree that we want all of our soldiers, sailors, Marines to be safe. And the work that we do here helps ensure that. We are supporting the radar systems that are identifying if there is any fire coming towards the troops out in the line. So it's changing every day. I'm very excited to work here myself. I have been here for 16 years. And like I said, I've just done all kinds of different things, all in the administrative field. We also have a audiovisual and graphics department. We create our own, graphics products, banners. If you have a skill set, we can probably put you to work. So please do consider Tobyhanna Army Depot. And we also, you mentioned internships that everybody is interested in. We have a the government has a program, and you can find this at usajobs.gov, and it's called Pathways, and it is both for current students and also recent grads up to 2 years from graduation. You can use this as a pathway into federal service. And we also have short-term summer employment for students. So you can, maybe take a summer job at Tobyhanna Army Depot and find out maybe if it's right for you. So I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me ramble about something I like so much. And if you have any questions, we'll get to that, and I'll do my best to answer them. But thank you. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. Obviously, you have a passion for Tobyhanna, and I agree 100%. How many times do people drive by there, myself included, and go, "What's going on in there?" So it's a city within itself. So usajobs.gov, I just looked at that, easy to find. So we're going to keep the ball rolling here, and to our third presenter, and Steve Bunker from United Envelope Corporation, and he's the executive VP. So I'm really happy to have him here. Welcome.
Well, thank
Steve.
you. Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to everybody. We also have a very good video. I kind of pinch hitting here at the last minute with our friend Vicki Herman, who's our HR director, is involved in a program that some of the students may be familiar with. It's called "What's So Cool About Manufacturing?" Yes. And we've been involved in that program for probably 5 or 6 years now, and they're having their big meeting, awards ceremony, I guess it is, down in Bethlehem this afternoon. So I'm pinch hitting for her. We have a video on our website. It's at unitedenvelope.com. And I'd encourage anybody to look at that. Or if we have another opportunity to present, we can certainly queue that up and make that available to all the participants. But to tell you a little bit about United Envelope, unlike maybe the depot, you probably can figure out what we do at United Envelope. We are an employer. We have a total of about 420 employees altogether in 3 different locations, with our location in Mount Pocono being by far the largest. We employ around 300 people in Mount Pocono. We have another much smaller facility in Cincinnati, Ohio, and another small facility in New Jersey. But here in Mount Pocono, we've been in the community now for 27 years. We started from scratch. We built our own building. We've added on to it twice in the period of time that we've been here. And much like Michael was talking about with Weiler, we've seen significant growth during that period of time. We actually started out back in 1995 with 25 employees. We had 75,000 square feet back then, and we now have 225,000. So we've enjoyed significant growth here in the Poconos, and we're specifically in the envelope manufacturing business. You might say, well, what's that business like? Well, I can tell you it's, I've been here for 26 years. I've been in the industry a total of 45 years. I started when I was 8 years old. That's a joke. And I am very proud to say that it's been a great industry for me personally. Our particular product line is fairly something you can identify with. It's our envelopes specifically are ones that we sell to folks who the product ends up in your mailbox. It ends up in your mailbox in the form of some type of paper-based communication. And that communication could be a statement, an invoice, a bill. It could be a direct mail solicitation, attempting to sell you something, ranging anywhere from credit cards to books to any clothes, any variety of things. We are very active in the nonprofit world. So anybody that might be familiar with, Feeding America or March of Dimes or any wide variety of nonprofit organizations that do, great work in our country. We are supplying them with envelope products so they can send you something in the mail and ask you to contribute to it. Our situation here is, I think, probably similar to the folks at Weiler and at the Army Depot. We have entry-level positions, what we call semi-skilled, where folks come in. They may be involved in inspecting envelopes, looking at quality, joining our quality control team, maybe involved with our continuous improvement group, etc. Much like it's been described before, we have people that are in customer service, accounting, shipping, material handlers, etc. We also have a group that we call our skilled group, which are folks that are in maintenance, electricians, and what we call adjusters, which is an envelope term. And all that really means is someone who is the mechanic on the machine that keeps the machine running, and it does size changes and any kind of troubleshooting on the machine, etc. Those are our most highly compensated employees. The entry-level people, as you might expect, are a little bit less compensated, but I'm very pleased to say that most of the folks that we have that are both supervisors as well as skilled labor folks who are at the high end of the compensation scale started out with us in an entry-level position, and they've worked their way up, much like Michael and Katie were describing earlier. They've worked their way up into a position which has allowed them and their family some financial security, etc. We do offer a full range of benefits, 401k, health insurance, life insurance, dental insurance, disability, both short and long term, etc. Which pretty much the full range of benefits that most of the better companies in the Poconos, like Weiler and like the Depot, offer. The other thing that I would tell you that we're most proud of is that in the 26 years that we've been here, well, almost 27, we'll be 27 in June, actually. We've never had one single person laid off. We've gone 27 years without a layoff. We're probably, in my time here, that's our most proud accomplishment. We've offered a very stable and financially rewarding opportunity for folks here. We have people here of a wide variety of nationalities. Our demographic is quite diverse. We're very proud of that as well. One of the interesting statistics that I'll share with you is that we're only closed 8 days a year. We operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we're closed on 8 holidays. That doesn't mean, by the way, that you work 7 days a week. You work 3 days one week and you work 4 days the next week. So out of the 10-day normal Monday through Friday period of time, you're working 7 of those 10 days. And we produced a total of 5.6 billion envelopes last year, which is an average of about 15 million envelopes per day. So, we're a very large provider of paper-based communication to our customers and to our industry. And we're dealing with many well-known, identifiable customers, banks and insurance companies and folks that are utilities. And, you probably get your utility bill in one of our envelopes, as a matter of fact. One of the local utilities has been our customer for many, many years. So I think that if I would have been technically talented as Katie and Michael to have a video ready to go to show you, you would have recognized some of the products that we're doing. But again, we certainly can have that video ready for the next go around that we have. The last thing that I'll leave you with is that, we care very much about our employees, as I'm sure the other presenters companies do as well. Where we've got a number of now second generation employees here, folks whose parents started out working here and now they're working here as well with their parents. And we're very proud of that, because I think that says a lot about a company when you have a first generation group that is happy enough with their employer, or at least satisfied enough, let's put it that way, that they're willing to basically recruit their children and friends and relatives to join that organization. And again, I don't want to get into too much of a pitch about all the things that we do from a pay standpoint and all that. But suffice to say that from a compensation standpoint, I'm sure we're extremely competitive in the Pocono area, as you have to be in this day and age. And we are offering, as many companies are, sign-on bonuses, as well as referral bonuses for our current employees who refer new folks to us as well. So I think that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to share with the group, and certainly more than happy to answer any questions that anybody might have.
Well, Steve, I put your website link in the chat, and I know I opened it up and there are a number of videos. So I mean, I'm encouraging our participants to go on and take a look and get to know a little bit about these companies.
Thank you.
So I'm thinking, I'm putting myself in 11th grade now, 12th grade, and I'm thinking about, okay, I'm hearing, from Toby Hanna, which can pretty much find a job for me anywhere in lots of things. But here are two local companies. And what I heard was things like, pay, but I also heard family, like it's an environment where you care about each other. And maybe, if I'm 18, I'm like, I just want to make a lot of money. But, we also want to think about working for people who have stability, that you're going to have a job and be able to move up a career ladder, also in Toby Hanna. But, that's really critically important of that you don't want to go to work for a company and they're laying people off left and right. So I heard a lot of great things today. And then you say, well, I don't want to make envelopes. Well, guess what? When you think about, or I don't want to make brushes, or I don't want to make this net, all of these companies have a range of employees. I mean, do you all have tech people to run your computers and things, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
so if you're a computer guy, or gal, and you have human resources, right? You have people who hire and work with people. So there's all of these companies have so many different layers of opportunities for you as students. And Steve, where are you physically located?
We're located right in Mount Pocono. If people are familiar with Mount Pocono, we're right behind the Lowe's, which is right off 940. There's a Walmart there as well that we're behind.
Okay.
So yeah, we're, you can't see us from 940, but if you just turn on our street and go behind Lowe's, we're the first building you come to, and we have a big sign there that says United Envelope on the side.
Awesome. Okay, so you're so someone that would know where that is. So,
Yes.
All right. So great information, and we have a couple of students who are having a little bit of tech issues coming in and out. So before we go any further, let me just ask, we have 3 or 4 of you who didn't have an opportunity to sign in via chat or by the form. So I'm just going to repost the sign in if you came in a little late. Those of you who got to me in chat, I have your name and your school, but so there's just a few of you that we're having a little tech issue. So if you don't mind signing in, that way we can keep track of you. Well, I have a billion questions, but it's not about me. It's about you guys as students. So how about some questions from our audience? Just unmute anything you want to ask, or if you don't want to talk, put it in chat. Who's going to start us off? Oh. So I'm gonna be here's the teacher in me. I'm gonna call on somebody. So Jason, I'm looking up you in the corner, and you've been very attentive and, you know, listening. And I kind of think, Jason, were you on a student in the workplace session last year? Because you look familiar, but is this your first?
This is my first year.
Okay. So what did you hear that was interesting to you today?
I thought that was interesting was all the different jobs that they offer. Like before I came, I was thinking like say the envelope, like just mostly envelope jobs, and not other like tech jobs or stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
that's great. Go ahead, keep going.
and then the Army Depot has thousands of employees and tons of jobs in there. Katie said endless jobs, and that's good to hear because you have a wide variety of options to pick from.
Great. Well, I'm gonna, in my work, I work a lot with students like all of you and communities. And I will tell you that it's unfortunate, but we have kind of created a mindset in this country is that every single student needs to go to a four-year college right after school. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, you know, but you know, if you are interested in a four-year degree, you know, and you know where you want to go because you think you want to be in this career field, that's great. But we have so many students in this country that are going to college for going to college. You know, they're just because it's what I'm supposed to do. And what we're trying to do with the, you know, Career Ready Monroe is get you to think about, you know, what is it I'm interested in? You know, how do I learn more about opportunities in my region? And then what's the education? So I'm going to give you a formula. I want you to think about, and I'm not a math teacher. I want you to think about number one, where are the jobs? Whether it's in Monroe County, whether it's in across the country, wherever you want to be, where are the jobs, right? And then what kind of skills do I need for that job? You heard Steve talk about a different levels of skills. So what are the skills I need? And then what's the related education? You know, so for example, if you want to work in human resources, you know, because you think you want to hire people, you want to work, you know, with people on a day-to-day basis, you know, what does that entail? And where are the job opportunities? Because we unfortunately, we have many students going to college just for going to college and not really with a focus. So that's what this is all about. And I know that your counselors back in your school districts will be touching base with you in following these sessions about, you know, some opportunities for internships this summer. So do we have any other questions for the group, from the group? They're here. And Lexi unmuted. You want to ask anything, Lex?
So I don't have any questions per se, but I just wanted to say it was really interesting to hear about not only the job opportunities, but how they like focus on the full life aspect. It's not really just a job. And it's also interesting how they're pretty involved in the community.
Right. I mean, think about it. You know, who wants to go to a job just because it's a job? You want to like what you do and like the people you work with. And you heard, again, Steve, and I know the other two also, give back to the community. You know, that's an important part of who they are. And, you know, if they're in your backyard, these companies. So you have the websites. I've been putting them in chat. And I'm going to stick around. And first of all, I want to thank our presenters. And can we give them a virtual high five or a clap? You know, I know here I'm going to give you my clap. Okay, there you're getting some hand claps. We greatly appreciate that you joined us today. And you know what it shows me is how much you care about our kids in our community. So we thank you.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to hang around in case any of the students have questions. And if not, we thank you for joining us for session 1. Most appreciated.
All right. Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, I'll hang around for any students who have any questions for me or about the program, whatever.
I'm happy to stay as well.
Okay, great.
You know, just one thing I did want to touch on.
Yeah, sure.
So obviously we're all kind of industrial manufacturing types of jobs, and that's kind of hidden from plain view. You know, everybody I feel like knows somebody who works in a place like this, but they don't really know about them. So the United States is still the world's third largest manufacturer. And manufacturing is, I want to say it's our fifth largest industry. It's typically within the top 5. So Katie had mentioned and touched on this very, very well. And Steve had brought up kind of that career ladder, that career pathing. So obviously Katie and myself, we really, you know, started at the bottom, kind of worked our way up. A lot of these industries and a lot of these companies are going to have some sort of tuition reimbursement, or at least a training budget for more vocational kind of careers. So that's something that you should absolutely think to kind of take advantage of. I can say just here at Weiler, if you look at any department, be it finance, product development, engineering, and then within operations ourselves, my boss started on the floor as a production technician. I started on the floor as a production technician. You really find these stories where people kind of, they get their foot in the door, they figure out what they're good at, what they like to do, and they work their way up from there. So that's absolutely something to take advantage of. And I know it can be scary being a junior or a senior in high school, and what do I want to do with the rest of my life? I mean, I'll say I definitely did not know. Something like that's definitely an opportunity to take advantage of.
Yeah, and I'll just interject and kind of build on what Michael said. I mean, we've got, and I think I alluded to it, but I probably didn't articulate it very well, that you know, we have a very similar situation where we have significant numbers of employees who started out at a lower level position in the company, and through their own hard work and initiative and education, et cetera, have worked their way into, you know, a supervisory position, a management position. We're very big on, as I'm sure Weiler and the depot are, on, you know, moving people up from within, promoting from within. And I think that's a very important characteristic for a young person to understand, that it's pretty unlikely that the first few years you're with a company that you're going to be in a position of significant responsibility when you're, you know, 20 or 21 years old. But if it's a company or a business or a job that you like and you see a future, and it's a good company like the 3 that you're talking to, I think it's very possible that you can make a career out of it, and it can be a very rewarding career. And I think that's very important. As I said before, and one of the things I failed to mention, Joanne, and I apologize for this, is that we've been very active with the technical school down in Bartonsville. You know, we probably started working with them, gosh, probably around 15 years or so ago. And we've routinely hired folks, young folks that have come out of, you know, that environment when they graduate from that school. And, you know, it's been a very rewarding experience for us to be able to take, you know, hire a young person, a local young person who's, you know, maybe not quite sure exactly what they want to do at that point in their life. You know, we were all there at one time or another. I'm not sure what I want to be when I grow up, except yet. So the fact of the matter is that, you know, that happens. And we've been very honored to be able to attract some of these young folks and hire them and move them up through the ranks. We have one of those people that is actually in a supervisory position with us right now that we hired probably about 10 years ago now. So yeah, it's been a good situation. And again, I'm not all the young folks that are on this call, and I don't know how many of them are involved down at the technical school in Bartonsville, but you know, certainly that's a way to, I think a lot of employers are interested in people that take that route in terms of coming through that type of schooling.
Yeah, MCTI is a treasure in our community. They really are producing students who are workforce ready. Katie, you wanted to share something. Thanks, Steve. Got to unmute.
Thank you. I just wanted to piggyback on the comments about these trade schools. I truly wish somebody had pushed me in the direction of a trade school, at least to explore the possibilities. I think anyone out there, you know, if you don't know what you want to do with your future, look at the things that you enjoy doing now. Do you are you creative? Are you artistic? Do you like to work with your hands? Because a job in the trades may be very satisfying to you. You know, working mechanics, putting circuit card boards together, and then also with engineering, with problem solving, those type of things. I don't think they really get the rap they should as being creative and in a way artistic ways to go. And as a young woman, especially in high school, nobody was saying, maybe you want to do this. I know that's very different now. You guys are very lucky. I am glad we didn't have social media when I was in high school though, but even that's a job now. So I guess it's like, you know, what can you do? But if you have even the slightest inkling of curiosity about looking at what it's like to be an electrician or a sandblaster or a welder, we have women welders here at Tobyhanna Army Depot. They're badass, you know. Look into it, ask the questions. I wish I had a program like this when I was in school, because I didn't know the questions I wasn't asking. So this is a wonderful program. Thank you so much for including us, Tobyhanna Army Depot. We want to come back again and again. So I appreciate it. And I am open if anybody wants to reach out to us. I do help manage our social media pages. So you can reach out directly, Facebook Messenger. You'll probably reach me. If not, they can get it to me. So if you have questions that you didn't feel comfortable bringing up today in front of everyone, I'm happy to field those at any time. So thank you very much.
Great. And it's true. We didn't have the programs like this when I was in school, that's for sure, you know. So, all right. So any other questions? If not, I would thank everyone for joining us, and have a great rest of your evening. And thank you so much to Katie, Michael, and Steve. You did a good job filling in for Vicky, Steve.
Okay, thank you. Big shoes to fill.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
You are
having us.
welcome.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
And we will invite you back. Oh, that's for sure.